Hi everybody, it's Wave 3 News meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with a Hokey video blog update for this Saturday morning before Memorial Day. Ooh, it's going to be a steamer out there as we head throughout this weekend. Also looking for some thunderstorms as we head throughout this afternoon and early this evening. We'll detail that in just a second. Let's talk about today's Hokey weather fact. First, it's about storm chasing. A lot of people think tornadoes and thunderstorms are the main risks for storm chasers in terms of safety. Really, it's car crashes that are the problem. We've had many documented cases of storm chasers getting into, unfortunately, fatal accidents at times just because of all the thousands of miles and hundreds of hours that are done driving each week just to see a thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. So that's the dangerous part. Tornadoes and thunderstorms, dangerous too, of course, but generally storm chasers are pretty savvy on where to go and what to do to be safe during that time. It's really other drivers and obstacles and, of course, wildlife that can get in front of the vehicle and be a problem. I've actually been in a car accident while storm chasing. We hit a deer in the middle of Nebraska. We had to stay overnight in eastern Colorado while the car was fixed and we got a rental. It was a real mess. And I tell you what, when you're storm chasing and you're in a rural area and that happens outside of cell service, it can be a real problem, much like what we had. This was about 5-6 years ago. All right, so my storm chasing trip for this year, the 9th annual one, begins on June 4th. That's when I fly out to Denver. Our first chase day in the Great Plains will be the 5th, so it'll be that Sunday, and we'll be going until the 10th. The 10th will be our last chase day. Follow me on the Wave 3 News weather blog. Bookmark that in your web browser, on your computer, and your phone. Twitter, at Ryan Hoke Wave 3. Facebook, just search for Ryan Hoke and click on the one with the little 3 and the peacock next to me. And we've got Instagram too, at HokeyWX. I'll be constantly updating those platforms and also be using my hashtag HokeyStorm if you're looking for related tweets and Instagram posts. All right, outside this morning, a little bit of a sunrise there from our Kentucky One Health SkyTrack camera in Simpsonville. Temperatures in the 60s to near 70 degrees. It is quite muggy. Dew points hovering around 66 here in the city, by the way. A couple of showers out there earlier this morning. Got a downpour that's now popping up just north of Oldham County in eastern portions there of Clark County at this hour. It doesn't look like a big deal at this time, but just a little bit of a downpour there tracking toward Trimble County. Most of us staying dry through this morning. By this afternoon, numerous showers and thunderstorms developing, by the way. And we're all going to be seeing that courtesy of this really nice south flow out of the Gulf of Mexico. You'll notice that southeast wind at 8 miles an hour. That's basically a direct connection to the Gulf of Mexico, giving us all that moisture. Something else we're watching, Tropical Depression 2, that is now barreling toward the coast of South Carolina. You'll see the enhanced infrared satellite view there showing us just how quickly it's moving toward the coast at 14 miles an hour, which for a tropical system, that's pretty fast, all right? It is strengthening. Gusts at 45 miles per hour should become a tropical storm before tomorrow morning when it makes landfall around 2 a.m. on Sunday. 40 mile per hour winds expected. Now, it's not going to be done right here. It's actually going to be heading up toward the Outer Banks. So if you have travel plans from Myrtle Beach to Florence up that way in South Carolina to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, and even up toward the Kitty Hawk and Cape Hatteras areas of eastern North Carolina, you'll want to make sure that you keep up with the latest forecast because you may lose some beach days out of this. It is just a tropical storm, but we say just a tropical storm with a caveat. The flooding, of course, from these systems can be a real killer. So that's why we need to make sure that we track that for our friends and neighbors who will be traveling down that way for Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see a couple of these showers this morning. I think the thunderstorms hold off till about mid to late afternoon. There's some concern as to how late these hold off and what the coverage could be. That may be a little lower than what some of the models are saying, which would be a good thing for folks out and about today for those concerts and, of course, the outdoor events that are going on. We've got Wave 3 News Abbey Road on the River, Reggae Fest, and the Kenny Chesney concert. Those are the three big ones kicking off today. By tonight, after about 7:30, 8 o'clock, we should lose the storms pretty much completely. We'll settle back down into the 60s for the overnight hours. We talked about that dew point, how it's going to be in the 60s as we head throughout the next 3 days for our Memorial Day weekend. That puts us in the humid to muggy category. That's how the air feels. That's going to inhibit the sweat from evaporating from your skin as efficiently, so it's going to feel a whole lot warmer. On the 7-day breakdown, we'll break down the forecast for the afternoon because we've got Abbey Road on the River going on, sponsored by Wave 3 News. We'll see temperatures in the 80s through about 2 o'clock. I think we'll get up to about 87, but then we're going to crash at some point thanks to those storms moving through. I do think we have a pretty good chance of seeing a storm here in the metro area. It's just going to be very quick, so I wouldn't worry about it so much. Just have a plan to move somewhere in a safe location indoors for just a few minutes as it moves through, and then you can go back outside and you'll be just fine with those cooler temperatures nonetheless. Storm chances, of course, peaking around 5, 6 o'clock and decreasing through the overnight hours. On Sunday, that is the Sunday before Memorial Day, a lot of folks heading up I-65 toward Indianapolis, where we've got the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. And you'll see that they've got some scattered thunderstorms that will develop during the afternoon. They may impact areas around of course, the race course before the actual race itself. A little bit of a lower chance during race time, but it's still about 40 to 30% chance during that point with those scattered thunderstorms. And temperature is still in the 80s. It's going to be warm. Stay hydrated if you're headed out there. On Monday for Memorial Day itself, it's a very low storm chance. Temperatures will probably get close to 90 degrees. We're going well above guidance here on that. The guidance is currently saying between like 86 and 87 degrees for a high temperature at best. But with all the sunshine and the lack of a storm chance, I think we may get very close to 90, even if the temperatures just above our head are a degree or two cooler as kind of a core of higher pressure moves in. So kind of a balancing act there. We usually see a scenario where the solar heating wins out in these scenarios. If we had a southwesterly wind, we would certainly tick things up well above 90, but we'll keep it at 90 for now. If you're heading out to area lakes, temperatures between the upper 80s and the lower 90s, plenty of sunshine, 20% chance of storms. By the time we head throughout our Wednesday into our Thursday, that is going to be when we see another chance of thunderstorms here. We're going to give you the earliest alert on this, showing you where this stronger front's going to be moving in. It's not going to be causing severe weather, we don't think, at this point, but it's worth watching, certainly. But that'll flush in here some drier, cooler air, and that takes us down to the 70s by Friday. You'll see in the earliest alert outlook how we keep those 70s as we head throughout much of the next week. That takes us through the 4th, 5th, and 6th in the 70s there, and we'll increase those temperatures and thunderstorm chances all the way through the 10th. That's it for now on the Hokey video blog. Hope everybody has a nice start to their Memorial Day weekend. I'll be back here tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. Brian Good is actually in here tonight at 6 and 11. Watch him then.